Welcome back. Episode 27 of the Rice and Slice Golf Show podcast. Chenji, how are you?
To this day, I'm very impressed that we get to name the number of an episode every single time, right?
Mate, forget naming the episode. How we managed to put a show together this week, I have no idea. Chenji forgot. Welcome back to the podcast. Everybody's listening. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of our little journey. Chenji forgot his laptop at work. So we had to, and obviously how are you going to record the audio? How are you going to record everything without a laptop? So we managed to somehow find a way to fix all this. And because he has his work laptop, he can't download any programs because of you need admin passwords and all that kind of stuff. Somehow we managed to find a website that we can record audio to, and you are watching and listening to the podcast because of sheer determination.
Because of technology, because in this creator economy, I think we're giving all the tools to succeed. So we better put up a show, Theo. If we can go through making this episode happen with all the technological, issues that we've had, right? Let's make it a good one. And I hope everyone's going to enjoy this episode. I want nothing more than to make every single show as good as it can be. I mean, they're pretty decent. We are doing it, if you are watching, we are doing it remotely again, but that's okay. We're kind of getting used to this kind of little format. But yeah, I mean, hopefully either next week or the week after, I'll come down to London and we can record a face-to-face. I want to be next to you, arm's length, obviously, not too close. And yeah, it should be good, man. Absolutely.
But how are you, Chenji? Are you okay? How's it going? Episode 27.
Yeah, good man. What did I do?
Before we get into the podcast, I just want to say massive shout out to all of you guys for listening. We're nearly at 1,000 followers on TikTok, which is crazy. So we're nearly. I mean, I say nearly. We need 50 more to be over 1,000. And I don't know if you know this, Chenji, but we actually need at least 1,000 followers. Otherwise, because when we get 1,000 followers, Chenji, we can put a link in our bio, and it's going to make it easier for people to click on the link.
No way, you're joking.
Does that make sense? So
of course.
Like a Linktree link.
So you can't even put a link before you get 1,000 followers.
No. And so I need 1,000 followers so I can put that silly little link. So it's easier for people on TikTok
brilliant.
to kind of go.
Hey guys, we're only 50, 60 more to go, right? Aren't we?
Yeah, we're not far off. So, but yeah, it's it's going to be good. I don't know if you knew this. Well, you probably didn't. On Instagram, you know how whenever we post a podcast, and I would put a story, and I put, this week we're talking about this, and this, and then I put a link of the YouTube.
Yeah.
Before, a year ago, not that long ago, literally a year ago, you needed to have over 10,000 followers to be able to add that link.
No way.
Yeah. So obviously we don't have 10,000 followers. We barely have 100. So and they changed it, and now you can put a link and a clickable link basically. That's good.
I'll tell you what, this golf podcast is turning into how to become an influencer podcast and how to put links on social media.
We're not quite there yet. We are going to get there. Speaking of influencers, we are on our way. Don't start this again, Apple Watch. We are on our way to get signed by Taylormade.
Absolutely,
how do you
man.
feel about that?
I mean, it's either going to be Taylormade or Slazenger, and at this point, I'd be happy with Slazenger, right?
Mate, I would take anything. I would take, Slazenger, Wilson.
I'll tell you what, though. I've got my first ever bag and bag of balls, my golf bag and bag of balls, are from Slazenger.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that everybody's first is Sports Direct, Slazenger, bits and pieces. And all that kind of stuff, right? The first tees you're gonna get are gonna be from Sports Direct.
Yeah.
Your first balls, your first putter, maybe your first set of clubs. Which there's nothing wrong with that.
But you know what I find funny though, right? Kind of because in tennis, Slazenger is actually quite a good brand, I suppose.
No, it's one
tennis,
of the best.
Exactly, Slazenger balls right?
Yes.
They use them in the Wimbledon, and again, it's like super expensive. Yeah. But all of a sudden, you go into golf, Slazenger just seems to be. I mean, I think this is purely in the UK. I'm not sure if they have Slazenger in the US. Maybe they do, or around Europe. But again, in the UK, Slazenger golf gear is kind of like quite low end, I suppose, entry level. I won't say low end, but it's like entry level.
I can bet you there's like an Eastern European country that Slazenger is like thriving. Like the reason why Slazenger is still in business because of like Estonia or some Eastern European, some like Malta or like Albania or like some random Eastern European country that everyone's just like obsessed
wearing
with Slazenger.
Like Slazenger tracksuits and like Slazenger shoes, Slazenger everything.
Like everything Slazenger.
Just grab again, buys like a box of Slazenger golf balls. Don't even know how to play golf, but just kind of want to hang around with the golf balls. Made by Slazenger. Yeah.
I mean, the reason why we're talking about Slazenger and we're talking about all of this kind of stuff is because like big news. If you didn't already know, the first big news. Good obviously got signed by Callaway. Well, 80% of Good got signed by Callaway. There was two lads that left Good because they didn't want. Well, that left Good and we didn't know why. And that was Mike, Morris, and Grant. And we didn't know why they left Good. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, Good signed with Callaway. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Maybe they want to stay with Mizuno because that's who the Good were before. And yesterday's news, big news in the golfing world, is Micah and Grant have signed with Taylormade. And like I think that's big. They're not the first people to do it because I know definitely my new favorite TikToker, Mia Baker, which I've spoke to you about. I know she's signed by Taylormade. I know, if I'm not mistaken, Iona Stevens, she's signed by Titleist. So these influencers
are these influencers all been signed already?
Yeah,
I actually didn't know that.
What's his name? Seb something. He does YouTube videos. A British guy. He's a member of Centurion. Seb something.
Not too sure.
If you see him videos, if you see him, you recognize him. I think he's like he's not as big as Rick Shields and Peter Finch, but he's up there. He's signed by TaylorMade, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
So, but I mean, Mike and Grant, it's big, and I loved. Did you see the little what do you call it? Like the little reveal video.
I saw that. Yeah, you shared it on Instagram. Yeah,
I did. Instagram at Rice and Slice Podcast. Please go like and subscribe. Also on a TikTok. Thank you guys. But yeah, what they did, like the sickest little clip. It was like, when a Premier League footballer gets signed or any footballer gets signed, they always do like this little video, this little clip or whatever of its like reveal and it's like all exciting or whatever. So what they did, TaylorMade, it was Grant or Micah. I think it was Micah. He was in the locker room at the Kingdom at the TaylorMade headquarters in America somewhere, and the camera goes to Tiger Woods' bag, and then it goes to Rory's bag, and then it goes to Micah's bag, and then it reveals Micah. And I'm like, I mean, obviously it's Micah, and he's a YouTuber. He's incredible at golf. I think he's one of the best out of the good boys.
Is he the one that made the one that made the par 4 hole in one?
I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think he's like one of the best, and I think he genuinely has like potential to go pro. Micah does.
Okay.
So does Grant, but Micah I think he's one of the best.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pretty cool video. I mean, can you imagine that, man? That's just incredible. Obviously, he's nowhere near as elite as Rory and Tiger, but it's a really cool like little sneak peek of.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what though. Like again, the more you into this golf, and the more you actually see other really good golfers, right? Who are not professionals, who can either be influencers, who might be like club professionals. Just makes you respect the actual professionals so much more. Like the guys who are on PGA Tour, the guys who are on European Tour, Asia Tour, anywhere, Australia Tour. Because it's so competitive. Seriously, like you see how good these people play. And you think, oh my gosh, why is this guy not on tour? Because he's not good enough. Actually, it's because he's not good enough, or she, right? Yeah, and I don't know. I think the more I'm into this golf, and the more I watch golf, and the more I'm just into golf, the more respect I get every single day. The more respect I get every single day by watching these professionals play.
I completely agree with you. Do you know what it is? It's pure talent. As in, not talent, not God-given talent. It's the work that is talent.
I mean, absolutely a little bit of like God-given talent.
Some of it, mate.
But obviously,
I genuinely,
blood,
I don't
tears,
think
and sweat.
It is God-given because the amount of work, as you've seen when we went to like professional events or whatever, the amount of work that they put. They practice more than what they actually play. And they practice for hours and hours. Like Jon Rahm, for example. Oh, speaking of Jon Rahm, he won again back to back.
What a legend. What a legend.
What an incredible... I mean, we're going to get into that a little bit later. But to the practice, we were watching him hit bunker shots for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, he was in the short game area. Like, you know, you and I will just be on the short game area for like 10 minutes and then you're like, off we go. I mean, obviously being the professional he is, he was in the short game area in the bunkers, you know, around the greens. Like,
right. Sorry.
For 3 hours, which is like crazy.
Mate, and then, you know, from there he'll go into the putting thing, and then it's just non-stop. It's incredible the amount of work. Sergio Garcia, Ian Poulter, the amount of time that we've seen. Justin Rose, I could go on for days. Hours that they spent practicing, mate. On the Monday, not even like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On the Monday before the Open, I was so impressed, and it's no wonder why they are where they are, and they earn the amount of money that they earn. They put the absolute, you know, heart and soul
you think about how many events these guys play, right? You know, like for example, the European Tour right now. You know, they just had the season opener really at the Abu Dhabi Championship, and then obviously literally the week after, not even the week after, right? This is the thing, you know, if you're talking about football, right? You play a game 1 week, and you know there might be an FA Cup, there might be a Champions League, and you know in between, but generally you play once a week, don't you? Right? Yes. With golf, you are playing, right, almost every single day. Every single day on a professional level. It's
not as physically demanding as football.
It's not, but still, you know, you're walking a lot of miles, you're still exerting a lot of stress on your body, and you're playing professionally where every single shot counts from Thursday to Sunday. And then on Monday, sometimes, especially if you're not like in that professional yet, you're like participating in a Monday qualifier on the PGA Tour, for example, which is still very competitive. And for others, like, you know, let's say this week, you know, from Abu Dhabi straight to Dubai, doing practice rounds, you know, doing like, you know, doing basically like, you know, publicity rounds, playing a Pro-Am, for example. So basically, these guys have barely any days off, right? And you know, and again, you know, once the season is packed, any days that you're not really playing professionally or like, you know, showing up as an appearance, as a celebrity appearance, you really want to be working on your game, don't you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, because again, when they're playing, they're not practicing, are they? So they're playing.
No, that's it.
For stakes.
Do you know what it is as well? You can't hide, like these PGA pros. If you're not good, you're going to get cut. You're not going to get paid.
Exactly. You can't hide, can you?
Just hide.
You can't just
like
be on the
behind
bench.
A teammate. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like with football, for example, because obviously we follow a lot of football. There's a lot of bad players in every single team. They get paid a lot of money every single week. You know, they go to training. Yes, of course. They might play every single week, but if you have a bad game, it's not the end of the world. If you have a good game, great. But with the PGA, with pro golfers and even amateurs like that are trying to turn pro, if you have a bad week or a bad day or a bad round, mate, you're done for the week.
Mm-hmm.
You're not earning any money. You're not quite sure if you've not made it. You're not quite sure how you're going to pay your mortgage. You're not sure how you're going to feed yourself and your family. Mate, like it's the pressure, I think, is a lot more, and it's so much more difficult to turn pro as a golfer than to turn pro as a footballer.
Yeah, which
I don't know. It's like sometimes with football, it kind of feels like you can like hide under the radar a little bit. Or if you play for an incredible team like Man United, Man City, Tottenham, so a football team, once you've made it into those teams and you're earning that bag every single week, you can kind of chill out. But if you're a pro golfer, there's no relaxing. No. You have to make the cut every single week to get paid. You have to play well so you can earn those bonuses with, you know, your sponsors. You have to play well to get those sponsors. You have to keep up appearances. It's just so much pressure, man. It's a lot.
Which again, you know, like, and we've obviously discussed this, and everybody has discussed this for so long, you know, like PJ and the LIV Tour, right? You know, in a way, again, you know, keeping that kind of purity in the sport, like that competitiveness, that kind of like, you know, making the cut, every single shot counts every single day. Obviously, like, you know, is the ethos of the sport, like, you know, which is the PGA Tour. But then LIV comes out, obviously, like, you know, just to say that you just get paid by showing up anyway. It's just like, you know, it could be, you know, people call it an exhibition game, people call it like, you know, just like an entertainment. But at the end of the day, you know, they get paid, the trainers get paid, everybody gets paid. But then again, kind of takes away that purity, that sort of like, you know, sportsmanship, competitiveness of the sport, which again, I think brings nicely to like, you know, Jon Rahm, right? Him on the PGA Tour winning, he started 2 events and he won both events, right? How can he that's just an incredible statistic. You start 2 events and you win 2 events, right? And in those 2 events, he won like something like $4.5 million,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
Which is what Pat Perez, who shoots like 80 every single round on the LIV Tour, what he made like in like 2 rounds, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like, wow, how,
to be fair, though,
and I don't think,
yes.
all right, I mean, nothing against Pat Perez, right? But I don't think he's spending 4 hours on the short game area, before every single LIV game. What do you think?
I agree. But adding on, obviously, Pat Perez is easier for him to earn money where he in the position that he's in now with LIV than Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm had to literally grind for, let's say, 2 weeks non-stop for 14 days, maybe a day off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or on the Monday, if that, and then go back into work, learn the course, learn the ins and outs, learn the slopes, learn the green, learn everything, right? Speed of the greens, all that kind of stuff, and then go back and win again to earn $4.4 million, whatever you said. But then there's bonuses on top of that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But again, like, you have to win. You have to be up there.
Yeah.
Pat Perez, like you said, shooting 80, nice, calm, probably having like a cigar, just chilling out, having a good time. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, Pat Perez has earned the right to earn that much money.
True.
Because if you think about it, everybody that's playing for LIV, they weren't doing bad financially before. They're just doing better now.
That's right.
So
That's right.
They weren't ever struggling like to make cuts. Otherwise, like, they can't pay the bills, like some of these PGA pros are, or some of the Corn Ferry players are. So obviously that's like a big thing. Yeah. So for like LIV players, yes, they're earning the bags, but they didn't really need the bag in the first place. They were already earning enough in the PGA Tour. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it kind of makes sense, yeah.
Now, yes, just earn your money, have a good time. But I get what you mean. I think it's going to get, he needs to get a bit more competitive. I think it will.
Which I genuinely think it will, I think, obviously, I still can't believe it. Feels like LIV has been around for ages, given the amount of debate that's going on, mate. The amount of social media that's been going on.
The reason why we talk about it so much because it's so new and it's so fresh to
but
us.
Seriously, it's only been 1 season. They've only played 1 season, one single season, 1 single year. And it feels like it's been here for like 10 years.
I know, mate. I mean, I hope we're not talking about LIV like this, in this capacity in 10 years' time. Bloody hell. If it's still around in 10 years' time, which I hope it is, just for the sake of it.
But also, like, kind of like speaking about LIV as well. Did you see that they released the calendar, the calendar for
I'm
the
gutted
season?
that there's only 1 round in the UK.
Yeah.
Are you not surprised?
I'm not surprised because it's like a global thing. I mean, they're like, first of all, they're very American-based, first of all, and Australia-based, given, Greg Norman's from Australia.
I know, mate, but give us 1 more. Like, come on.
Well, but come on. The first season, we've only had 1 anyway, didn't we?
JCB. Imagine if they played around.
But JCB's going to have their own Legends Tour again, right? So
yes, they will.
Yeah, they'll have it there. Centurion Club, I think, would you be down to go? I'd be down to go.
I would
Let's go.
100% be down to go.
Dude,
I'd be telling Bryson,
I think exactly.
I hit it in the water here on the 18th next to the clubhouse. I got it in the water, mate.
No, but actually,
try not to do that.
Have a think, right? Have a think. Obviously, these guys are still there to compete and they want to win, like, the big prize pot. But I think a lot of these guys are more relaxed than they would be if they were in like a PGA Tour event.
I agree.
So, like, imagine, you remember when we were like, doing a practice round following Bryson DeChambeau. I don't think you were there. I was there.
No.
And I tried to like speak to him. I tried to wave at him. He wasn't even like, he was just obviously doing his job. He's trying to like talking to his caddy, talking to his performance coach, and talking to whoever, trying to focus on his game, on a practice round. But I can only imagine like, out there and LIV, there's going to be music blasting, right? Which I find super interesting, right? Obviously, like on the PGA Tour, if your phone rings, everybody's going to look at you. If you cough, the players are going to be looking at you. Whereas like, you've seen these like clips on LIV's social media of, Cam Smith hitting an iron shot, and there's like literally music blasting all around the greens, right? And it's like, it's mad, like, which kind of, but hey, different kind of experience, right?
100%. I think we're going to enjoy it.
We're going to go there. We're going to order in tons of like, drinks and beers and food and whatsoever. We're going to sit on the 18, sit on whatever, right? And we're just going to like yell at people.
Yeah. Are you, side note, are you, going to join Centurion? You don't know yet.
Yeah. So
does that mean that we have priority to get tickets then?
I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Surely.
Yeah, probably.
If you remember,
again,
surely you have priority.
The LIV Tour is not going to be expensive anyway. So, but I'm sure,
No, listen. It won't be expensive. I'm not talking about expensive because it's
the access. To be fair, yeah, true.
It's because it's the only live event in the UK, mate. It's going to be heaving.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a lot of people. And Centurion is not. It's not a big place. You know, it's not like
true. That.
You know, like St George's down in Sandwich, wherever you call the place, where the 149th was. That place is massive. Yeah. Like you can tell why they have a major there. But a Centurion, mate, it's not that big.
To be fair, it's not big enough where are people going to park their cars? Because we played there before, and it's like, where are people going to be going to?
Do you know what they're going to do? I think they're going to do the same thing as what they did for the 149th that I went to.
Yeah.
They're going to rent out fields, like all the fields around, and they're going to rent them out, and then you can park there and whatever.
But they're like, just actually have a think about it. Where, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they did like, last time as well. Where did they put all those like, tents? That's just to sell gear, to have food.
Exactly.
Like when we went to the open, there's like loads of like empty space, but I just don't see the empty space around there.
No, you don't. But I mean, we're going to find out in a few months when we
absolutely,
go. So,
absolutely.
Speaking of LIV, just a quick one before we move on.
Go on.
Did you see the other news about LIV? They signed with a TV network in America.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. The CW
network in America.
Have you ever heard of the network before?
No, because I've got some information, mate, about the CW. I've done some digging on the CW.
Because the only reason I even know about CW is like when I was a kid or something, like, and I don't know, even I was like high school or like, I don't know, first year of university whatsoever. They came out like with the Arrow, which is that like a DC Comics thing?
Is that them?
And I really liked it, and I'm like, that's part of the C. So to me, like CW has always been like this, little TV show.
It is
producer.
This is the first sporting event that they're ever showing on this channel.
Wait, no way.
Yeah, it is.
Because they just produce like TV. I don't even think they produce movies. They're just purely like,
It's TV series. They're TV shows. Series based. They are the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. They are the 25th biggest TV channel. Sorry, it is. The 25th most watched network in America.
Okay.
Also, they don't show any sports on the channel, so nobody is already watching the channel for sports to kind of expect golf. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So unless you're a hardcore fan of golf and you know that LIV is on CW, like nobody's going to be tuning into the channel. So I don't understand how CW. Apparently, there was a lot of interest and there was a lot of bids for LIV, and eventually they kind of toned it down and they chose CW. But overall,
really, that's
apparently there was like two or three. Apparently, there was like a bidding war on who was going to get the right.
Come on, like I think to be very
there was
honest
a couple
with
of
you,
channels like CW,
and I don't know what the CW strategy is with this. But
they
would it
want to venture out into like a different branches, right? And so they want to start, showing a bit of sport.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
but they have to properly push this, right? I mean, on YouTube,
100%, mate.
It was so easy to watch. I mean, it was not very prestigious, I suppose. Such a big event with like the biggest names in golf, like Dustin
you know what,
Johnson.
Right? I love the idea that I was free on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Do you know what, right? I've done. I've got some stats here, right? On the YouTube, they were averaging around 80,000 viewers per day.
Yeah,
and that was free YouTube worldwide. Cool. I genuinely don't think they're going to attract that many people on the CW network.
But also, the
America.
CW is only in the US, right? So what about all the people in the rest of the world? Are they still going to watch it on YouTube?
No, they're not. They're going to stop. They're going to stop streaming it on YouTube. They're going to stop streaming it on Facebook. A few months ago. Now, don't hold me to this because I'm not 100% sure. A few months ago, there was a boxing fight on DAZN. You know what DAZN, right?
Yeah.
It's like this new like box office kind of website. Yeah. And I signed up for like I can't remember what it was exactly. I signed up and then I cancelled my subscription. Mm-hmm. But on DAZN website, I could see LIV Golf events and like highlights. So I think it's going to be on DAZN. But then again, would you pay £10 a month to have a DAZN subscription to watch LIV Golf? Realistically,
no, but for people who love boxing, for example, they love having that subscription, right? And I think it's really
big time.
Good.
Yeah.
I think they're really big in Germany as well because they
are.
They broadcast like Bundesliga football events. So
yeah, so if it's worth the money, yes. If I'm into Bundesliga, golf, boxing,
but I tell you what, striking a deal with BT Sports would be great, right? Because I don't think BT Sports does anything with like golf anyway, right? So
they don't, mate, but I don't think, as bad as it sounds, I don't think LIV is big enough for BT Sports just yet.
Yeah, but I don't know.
There's
But
not, the demand
yeah,
is not,
but,
it's just
but
not
again,
quite
you know,
there yet.
UK is probably the second biggest market for golf anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Do you know what I think as well? LIV has so much to benefit from BT Sports. BT Sports doesn't have much to benefit from LIV. Like people like me and you, for example, won't subscribe to BT Sports just to watch LIV.
No.
If we already have it, BT Sports to watch Premier League or football, then oh yeah, cool, yeah, we'll watch it because it's just an add-on. So BT Sports, the board of directors or whatever, they're not going to be like, yeah, we're going to make projected £10 million this year because LIV Golf. Because we're showing LIV. Does that make sense?
Of course, it makes sense, but that's the thing. You know, it has to be it surely has to be a sacrifice from LIV's behalf to get publicity and the broadcasting sort of audience from BT, but also BT will have the advantage of like venturing into golf as well because they currently don't have any golf events. I don't think.
No, they don't. They don't. Nothing.
Right.
And if they want to compete against Sky Sports,
they show darts. If they can show darts, they can show golf, can't they?
I'm not a fan of darts, right? But dart is a big sport.
It is big, to be fair.
It's crazy. Like the British people love their darts,
dude.
Mate.
Speaking of that as well, how do Brits have so much time to watch sports? Like how do we follow so many sports? I've never seen
highlights.
Maybe, yeah, but like seriously, like because we basically watch every single sport out there, don't we? Like everybody knows we're big footballers, football fans, right? And we love cricket, we love rugby.
Do you know what it is? In America, it's the same. In America, it's NFL.
But in America, it's
NBA.
NFL and well, I suppose baseball. No one watches like soccer.
No.
NBA. Some some people and hockey.
Oh mate. Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. But like for us, it's not just about the big sports, right? Because we watch those as well.
Snooker.
It's about like
we watch snooker.
Yeah, we watch snooker. We watch darts, rally races, Formula
F1,
1, obviously.
Football,
MotoGP,
rugby. But then again, listen. These sports, like
and somehow on a Monday evening in my flat last time, we were watching junior golf.
we were
junior golf. We were so desperate to watch something. We were watching like literally. We were literally watching 12-year-olds. But I look back to that experience, and I'm just like, mate, Theo. I don't know what the hell were we doing that night. Do you know what it was, watching. Right? Were we down so bad that we were watching. We were drinking. It was
like 2 a.m. We had nothing to do. We were watching junior, like 12-year-olds play golf. They were pretty decent, but then they were missing putts. We're like, what are you doing, mate? We could have made those putts.
Oh my gosh! But it was actually funny though. It was actually funny. I think they have it on every Monday night. So
with sports, like you just name it, like snooker, cricket, rugby. Like darts, you're not watching rugby league. You're watching like the international games. You're watching the Ashes. Formula One, yes, because obviously every race is a big event. So you watch. We're watching the Formula One. Cricket again, like I said, the Ashes, the darts. You're not watching the leagues that lead up to the majors, shall we say, of the darts. You're watching the final 2 people that are the best.
Yeah.
And even with Formula One, if I'm not watching Formula One, which I don't really watch Formula One on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I will sit on YouTube and watch the highlights, no problem.
Okay, fair enough.
And that Formula One, I've been following it because of like Michael Schumacher kind of thing since I was a kid, like a baby. For as long as I remember, probably following Formula One way before I even started following football properly. But I've never been into Formula One, like sitting down and watching the qualifiers and watching the final. But I've always been around it. Like I could name you 20 legends in Formula One, right? But and the reason why I'm into it now is because of the Drive to Survive on Netflix. So hopefully, when what's it called? First Swing.
Breaking Point.
First Swing.
Right, no, that's tennis. Sorry,
First Swing. Is that what it's called? The golf one on Netflix. The golf one that's coming out next week.
Yeah. It's First Swing. It's First Swing, right?
I think it's First Swing. It sounds really bad when you say it. First Swing. Surely they could have came up with a better name than that.
Surely they could have.
Yeah, so hopefully they kind of attract more, more people into golf, and it's just,
they should come out with right? They should be coming out with the name Swingers.
There's so many names. There's so many names that they could have. I mean, if I had time, I would have named you a few, but never mind.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, yeah.
Above par to be under par.
That's too long.
Too long. There we go.
Right, I've got an idea. Let's. Oh no, it's going to take too long.
No, too long. Nah, it's fine.
It's going
It's
to
all
take
right.
too long. Never mind. But
I'll tell you what, though, like, Sundays in the summer are like my favorite days. You play golf in the morning, you go home, or like have a drink in the clubhouse. You watch Formula One. After Formula One is football. After football, I go home and I watch the NFL, and it's just
mate. How much good times did you have over the summer?
Man, incredible.
Sundays,
I can't wait.
Play golf. Well, you say you can't wait. Play golf, eat a Calvary, have a couple of drinks, maybe sit at the clubhouse, watch football, play some snooker, fall asleep on the little nice comfy couches at Kettleston.
Yeah.
Go home.
Feels like ages ago, man. I can't wait for the summer again. Seriously, it feels like ages ago.
Listen, I've got. Let's move on to I've been thinking. You've moved to London.
Yeah.
We won't be playing together as much as what we did last year, right?
No.
It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So on Saturday and Sunday, who am I going to play with, Chenji? I have nobody to play with.
Oh yeah, that's a good question actually. Yeah.
So I'm Googling and trying to find half decent golf clubs.
No, you're trying to go on Tinder and then I'm looking for a golf buddy.
I'm looking for someone, mate. I don't know what it is. I'm looking for a golf club.
I'm sorry. You go on first. You finish.
Yeah. So I've been going through. And I'm trying to find golf clubs around me to join and seeing the prices and see what's good, what's bad, the benefits, if it's like if it's worth the money or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I need to join because I won't be able to play Saturday mornings sometimes.
Yeah.
I won't be able to play Sundays obviously. I won't be able to play Sundays because obviously we play together. There's no way I'll be like a Sunday will go past and I won't play golf. I need to play golf. I need to go out and make new friends. And the way I need to do that is by becoming a member somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a member somewhere, but it feels like I don't have a choice right now.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, I've Googled, mate. I've searched everything. There is not a single golf club around me within 20 miles that's worth the money and worth me joining. There's only one, and that is Kettleston, and that is very expensive.
Yeah.
Because of my age.
And they raised the price as well this year.
Have they?
Yeah, they sent me an email.
Do you know how much it is? Off the top of your head?
I forgot, but yeah, they raised it. No, they raised it by like 8%, I think, 8%, which is quite a lot if considering the base is like 2,000 something, right? So.
It's all in all to be over 30. Last year it was like it's going to be for the first time member. It would have been like just under £3,000. That's stupid for Kettleston as well. And it's not even £3,000. I need to get like, oh my god, I'm getting so much money. I'm getting so
You've
much.
got one
so
course,
much
but
money.
seriously, like, and again, because the reason Kettleston is expensive is because it's the only like proper good golf course in that area.
I'm gutted,
right?
mate.
And you come to London, you get so many good courses for between £1,500 and £2,000, and it's just ridiculous.
Today, I mean, if you look at me, I'm dressed like I just came back from the golf course, and that's because I literally
came
back from
in Warwickshire. Golf. I saw it.
I went today and I played at the Warwickshire. Well, I was supposed to go and play at Kidworth with Stell, but they had temporary greens, and I'm like, we're not playing temp greens. You got no chance. So this morning I called the Warwickshire and I was like, have you got temp green? Are you open first of all? They're like, yes, no problem. I said, have you got? How are the greens? Go, yeah, they're perfect, no problem. I was like, okay, book us in. We went down and I got speaking to the pro there, mate.
Oh gosh.
You've never played the Warwickshire.
No, but I know you said it's
You'll
like
love
two courses.
2 championship 18-hole courses, beautiful courses. One is like Parkland course, the other was like water, everywhere.
Yeah.
We played the King's course and Earls course. I will play the King's course today. There's also a 9-hole course. There's great practice facilities. The whole complex is massive, as you can imagine. There's separate to like the clubhouse and the pro shop, like on a different kind of area of the golf course. There's a massive complex where there's a gym, there's a spa, and
it's all included in the membership.
It's a country club.
A proper country club, yeah, of course. £1,500.
It went up. It's £1,700 for the year.
Bloody hell, man.
And you have 2.5 golf courses,
spa,
perfect condition,
swimming pool,
spa, the pro shop, the restaurant, a gym. You've got so many things to do, and they have I don't know, is it crochet? Is it crochet? Is that what they call it?
A creche.
Is it creche?
Like for your babies to hang out.
We don't have kids, so we don't know these terms.
No, yeah, but like
a nursery.
A nursery.
Yeah. That's it, a nursery.
A nursery, but not because you're going to work.
A high class nursery.
Like a nursery is where you have to work and you put your kids into nursery. A creche is basically where you go out and have fun and drop your kids off.
Glorified babysitters. You can go and drop off your kids
at
this creche and go and play golf and then go and pick them up later. How incredible!
That's
and
ridiculous.
all of this is included
for for the friendly price of £1,700.
It's not bad.
Ridiculous.
See that's worth the money. If I lived 25 minutes, 30 minutes away, it's worth the money. Now for me to pay £3,000 to play at Kedleston, mate, have 18 holes. Yes, the cover is great, but then again, it's not worth £3,000.
Even in London, you can find better courses for that money.
100%. The Nottinghamshire is another good course that we enjoy playing.
Of course.
2 courses.
Cheap. £700 or something like that.
It's around £1,300 for the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Have 2 courses.
Yeah.
You really you can't complain.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but then again, there's no other choices. I think that's why the prices are so high at Kedleston.
Yeah,
there's
easy. It's just easy, simple economics, isn't it? Supply and demand. You've got a good course, quality members.
It's a shame, man.
And
it's
a good,
a shame.
it's good plays, but it is what it is.
What did you want to tell me? You wanted to say something, and you said I'll go first.
Oh
you
no,
to say something
I completely forgot.
Something about I just started talking about golf courses and friends.
No, I completely forgot.
All right, never mind. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, not much. I mean,
you sent me a whole list of things that you had.
Oh, right. I mean, to be fair, I've just been watching golf. And again, I think I've just kind of covered it anyway because, just watching people play golf is kind of cool. I actually watched a lot of the LPGA last weekend.
Nelly Corda smashed it, right?
Well, she did pretty well, but I think she kind of fell off on Sunday because, she was on the chase. She was, I think, -11. But then she didn't really do well. Huh?
She was probably thinking about me.
Probably, yeah, absolutely. Thinking about Theo and his,
and his average swing
is brilliant. 300-yard drives every single time down the middle, right?
Oh man.
It was really good because it was like the tournament of champions, right? So only the champions of the past LPGA. I still can't pronounce
every
it
time,
right.
Man.
Every single gets me every single time.
You know what it is, right? In 10 years' time, when we have this award-winning £1 million studio podcast, right? We're still going to be making exactly the same mistake.
We're going to make the same mistake and get cancelled, yeah.
The
LPGA, exactly. Yeah, so all the LPGA winners were in that tour, but they also made it they had this amateur section. Well, not really amateur, but there's celebrity thing. Annika Sorenstam was there as well, playing in there. They had I think they were counting scores based on Stableford or Justice Stableford. Yeah, and I think the guy who won that amateur league, right? That because they were playing alongside each other. Marty Fish was a famous tennis player from the US. Right. His swing is really good. I mean, he plays really good golf, right? I mean, he's scratch golf, or maybe even better than that. And then he was saying after tournament, right? He wouldn't, he just can't beat these ladies, these LPGA professionals. You can hit it further, but again, you just lose out on the iron shots. Every single time. You might get some distance. You may, as a strong male golfer, you get some distance, right? But once after your tee shot, right, that's where your game goes downhill, and that's where all the LPGA players go uphill. So, yeah, it's cool to watch. I think, I'm increasingly enjoying watching the LPGA Tour. So, yeah, we'll be watching more of that this year.
I read, now don't quote me on this, because you just reminded me as you started talking, and I just pulled it up now, but I don't have time to read it.
Yeah.
I read a stat about Min Woo Lee's sister.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it the other day, the strokes gained, yeah?
Did we?
We talked about it in a couple of episodes ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I talked about it.
Her strokes gained.
Yeah, it's better than only Tiger has ever gotten below 2 or something.
It's better than not only the LPGA but also the PGA Tour last season.
Correct. Yeah,
she is an absolute animal, mate.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. She is. Where is it?
And even with that stat, right?
I've got it here.
And even with that stat, she is not the number 1 in LPGA. So how crazy is that? So even with this kind of crazy stat, right, which I think only Tiger has ever beaten, right? Only Tiger has ever beaten this record of gaining 2 strokes from tee to approach. Sorry, from tee to green. Sorry, no, from approaching the green. Yeah, only Tiger has beaten that, and even then, Minjee Lee is not the number 1 in the LPGA Tour. So
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So
right?
you can be such a good iron player, and again, and she's been winning, tournaments, but still there are people who are winning more tournaments than she is, which is like madness. Absolutely crazy.
So obviously she was really good. So from 125 to 150 yards, she was averaging 16.4 feet to the hole, obviously.
Yeah.
150 to 175, 20 feet.
Yeah.
And I think the most impressive one, 175 to 200 yards, she was averaging 22.5 feet to the hole.
This is ridiculous. Seriously.
Better than every man on the PGA Tour in every distance.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's actually people that are better than her. It's unbelievable.
I think the headline really was. I mean, and this is a good question to have as well. Like, who do you think is the best iron player in golf? And people are going to say Colin. And people are going to say Colin Morikawa. People are going to say Colin.
I think Colin's dropped a little bit. Colin's good.
He's still quite good.
Rory's good.
No, but again, you can't. His iron play is still absolutely amazing, right? Scotty Scheffler's iron play is absolutely really good as well.
Jon Rahm's Tom Kim is pretty good.
Yeah. But no, the best one is Minjee Lee. So she is.
Yeah, it's mad, right? It's crazy.
Exactly. So people will say all these names who are male, but actually it is, an LPGA, a lady golfer.
Yeah.
From Korea or Australia, sorry.
Have you played any golf since last week?
I didn't. Well, I went to the driving range. It's all right, but
how was it?
Well, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to go to the driving range anymore. I don't know why. Does this happen to other people as well? The more golf you play on the courses, the less you want to be on the driving range.
I can see that. This time last year, all we did was driving range, right? Because it was cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Gloomy,
cold.
It wasn't very nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But and then the season started, and we played so much golf over last season that now over the winter, I've been playing a lot of golf. Don't get me wrong, but even in the couple of weeks that I haven't been playing golf, I haven't been to the driving range once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know I need to go, and I know I should go practice. But I'm playing decent golf, and I'm like, I don't need the driving range.
No, it's not that, because I just think it's not realistic. I was on the driving range, and I've just been hitting good shots, and I know that because it's the same lie every single time. If you hit it well, you hit it well. That's great. Occasionally you hit a bad shot, but it doesn't really matter because you're on the driving range. You're just going for the next shot. There's no accountability. There's no lie. There's no accountability for a good shot or a bad shot. There's no accountability for the lies. There's no accountability for wind or whatsoever.
I agree.
It's just but to be fair though, it's just a really good place to kind of de-stress and just kind of
it is. It's good.
Hit some balls.
It's half decent for practice, but like you said, I think
more it's like a relief for me, right? I mean, it's like
I
get itchy hands. I just want to play, but I don't. There's nowhere to play, and it's like middle of the night. It's like it's already gotten dark. So when you're really desperate, you go to the driving range. But I feel like again, that's why I can't wait for summer, where you can just literally get off work. The days are long, and then you can just go out to the course and play 9 holes or 18 holes.
It's half decent for practice, but like you said, every single shot is perfect lie. You got no chance of. The chances of you getting a perfect lie when you're actually playing proper golf are so slim.
Exactly.
Especially now in the winter when it's so muddy and
especially
so wet.
when you play like me when you don't make the fairway. So
yeah, but that's why you need to go to the driving range more often, mate.
Exactly. But to be fair, that's the mistake. And the biggest mistake I've made is to be honest, is always machine gunning it. I'm the range machine gun, right? I get 2 buckets of balls, 240 balls,
and you're literally sweating within 15 minutes.
Sweating them in, and I'm like, I find it like a good workout because every time I go to the driving range, right, the next day my whole body feels sore, and I wonder why. And of course, you know why, because you've been hitting 240 balls on a rapid fire basis, and then the problem is. The next day, every single time, right? My wrist bloody hurts because you're just hitting down the mat every single time, right? And actually, you got to be careful on the driving ranges because you are hitting down a mat. That mat is rigid, right? There's not going to be any turf flying around where you kind of get a little bit of a cushion on your wrist. You are hitting down on a hard surface every single time. Yeah. So you have to be careful with your wrists. So I don't recommend people doing machine gunning it on the driving range.
Speaking of hard surfaces, mate, today I played some golf.
Yeah.
Went to the Warwickshire. Like I said earlier, called in advance.
Yeah.
I said, how are your greens? He goes, yeah, everything's perfectly fine. Come down. We don't have temp greens. Or our greens are good all the way through, or all year round. Perfect. We get there, mate. Wherever there was sun, it was fine. but wherever there was a tiny bit of shade, it was all ice. So
No way.
the
So-
sun was out today. It was like 4 or 5 degrees. So this is what I was wearing. So like what do you call it? Like a gilet.
Like a gilet with a
and two sleeves and two like sleeves underneath, right? So I was actually quite warm, right? So we didn't get cold. My face was a bit cold, but other than that, it was fine. But mate, the ground. I've played in worse conditions with you, with everybody, right?
Yeah.
The ground, it was absolutely solid.
Frozen.
I've frozen like everywhere up to the point, mate. Listen, I couldn't put the tee down
Because it was like
we
rock
spent
hard.
5.5 hours to play 18 holes.
No way.
Because
No way.
it took us so long, mate. We were snapping tees left, right, and center, and not the wooden tees, the plastic tees.
They would snap off because you try to like stick them on the ground.
So what we would do, right? We would
No
get
way.
we would get the ball and we'd get the tee, and I would kneel down on the floor, get the ball, and like use it as a hammer and like hit it. Hit
You need to use the club as a hammer as well to smash it
mate,
down on it.
and even then it wouldn't go in, and we'll have to like
No
squeeze
way.
it in. We used so much force to put the tee down. It was that frozen. It
That's
was
crazy,
that bad.
man. That's crazy.
And then on the 16th, I had the brilliant idea. You know the markers, like the yellow and white
Yeah.
markers? So these ones here, normally they're like wooden, the rocks, the fancy whatever. This was like a piece of brick that was painted yellow.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I just use it? So I picked up the yellow.
And then punched a hole.
Yeah, the T marker thing.
Yeah,
and no, I didn't punch a hole, and I used that as a little hammer.
Use that hole. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was using that as a
my
hammer
gosh.
to use it to like hammer down my tee. It was so frozen.
That's
It was
crazy.
a par 3, 135-yard par 3. I think is like the fifth or fourth hole or whatever it is at the Warwickshire on the King's Course. Stell hit it. It was a beautiful shot. It hit the front of the green and it bounced like so
20.
high. He went over the green, down the slope, and he ended up shooting like 5. It would have been any other day, any other weather, it would have been perfect.
It basically is like a rock, right? You're just hitting onto a rock
Without
and bouncing
exaggeration,
all the
mate,
way.
it bounced 30 feet in the air.
That's just ridiculous.
And that was
man.
every single green. The greens were obviously fast because they were so solid.
It was basically like ice.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny,
if I had
man.
if I had like 100, like let's say 150-yard approach, I would get a gap wedge, my 100-yard shot.
Yeah, because it would just roll for ages.
And it just rolls through.
No, it would just like basically bounce, right?
It would just bounce,
You know,
mate, the
whereas
bounce that we had
actually
today-
normally in the winter you lose yardage, but actually in that kind of conditions you gain yardage because of how much the balls is going to bounce forward.
It was crazy. Oh, there was obviously, like I said, there was loads of like lakes, there's loads of like water.
And they're all frozen, yeah.
Everything was frozen. It was the first time actually, like, because it was the first time I've ever seen the lakes frozen anywhere in golf courses. And I drove. It was a par 5, and on the right hand side there was water. There was like a massive lake, and it's easy to get into the lake.
Yeah.
Like the driveway is very, very tight.
Yeah.
So if you miss left, you're on the different fairway, like
Yeah.
on the different on the other course.
Yeah.
Different course completely. And it's quite hilly as well. So it's like left isn't good, right definitely isn't good because you're in the lake. You need to hit it straight. So I mid-sliced it. It wasn't like a big slice, but it went a little bit right. And I was just before the water. So I had the water to get over.
Yeah.
So I get my hybrid out. Normally my hybrid is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But the ground is solid. Mate, it was
Rock
like
hard.
hitting
Yeah,
off
yeah.
like concrete.
Yeah.
So I hit my hybrid, completely topped it.
Yeah.
And it was going obviously straight into the water. One
was like
bounce,
dung,
two
dung,
bounce,
dung, dung.
straight over middle of the fairway. I was
Are
like,
you joking?
brilliant. Yeah.
It bounced on the water and back into the fairway.
It bounced twice
Mate,
in the water. That's how bad of a shot it was. Not once. It bounced once in the water,
And
twice
still
in the
got
water,
back on the. Oh
and
my
still
God.
went back straight in the middle of the fairway. I was
That's
like,
so
yeah, that's
funny,
no
man.
problem. Stell
Dude,
was
you should've-
laughing his head off. Couldn't believe it.
That's just funny, man.
I
Actually,
had,
what's the ruling on that?
It's on the what
It's the fairway. Players are lies.
Middle of the
No,
fairway.
actually,
middle of the
seriously, I'm
fairway.
actually curious because if it's, I mean, I suppose it is, right? Because if the water is frozen and it bounces back into the fairway,
part of the
it was
course.
never in the water, was it? So
It was technically
it never,
it didn't even
it
get
never
wet.
was in the water.
It
So.
didn't even get wet. But yeah, it was overall. I had a good round. I chipped it in twice.
No way.
In like
Dude,
the first
I'm
5
genuinely
holes.
scared of us playing together, like playing our next time playing
Listen,
together
I'm
because you're
bigging
going to be
myself
so
up,
good.
right? Listen, I'm bigging myself up. I played decent today. I had to say I played decent. I shot an 89 today. I had 2 7s, which is not good. and like a couple of sixes, but I could have shot so much better. And today I had loads. My greens in regulation were very good today. I had loads of 3-putts today, which is actually really bad because of how bad.
Of course, how quick. Yeah,
the greens, because it was so frozen that the grass wasn't cut.
Yeah.
So, but again, it was frozen, so it was. I don't know. I struggled with putting today, but it is what it is. We move.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good.
Overall, mate, I'm big in my. I keep telling you that I'm playing decent golf until we play together.
Yeah.
And then I'm like slicing everything.
We make each other worse.
It's all right. It is what it is. But yeah, I put my first card in today of the year, actually.
Nice.
I put my first card of the year today. And not only that, I've put my first entry on the Golf 2023 spreadsheet of how much money I'm spending.
Oh, nice. There we go.
So hopefully, I barely remembered. So, yeah, £18 to play at the Warwickshire, which is nothing.
What?
I know, mate, honestly.
£18? That's how much I paid for 2 buckets of balls in the bloody driving range.
£18, mate. And I cannot big up that place enough.
Oh, my gosh.
I would love to take you.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Yes. Before we finish, I want to tell you a little story.
Go on.
That I don't know if you heard this story. It's a little fun little story. There's a guy called Gil Hans. I hope I haven't butchered his name. He is a course designer, a golf course designer, and he's designed like loads and hundreds of courses. He's renovated loads of courses, like very famous courses and all that kind of stuff. He's currently designing a golf course called Coachella Valley outside of Palm Springs, I think, California.
Okay, in Coachella, yeah, where they have the music festival, yeah.
That's it. I hope it's like the same area. And they just finished 12 holes, like all the developers. By the way, this is like a super exclusive, super like expensive golf course that they're designing, to the point where the part owner of this golf course, I don't know the name of it's called Coachella Valley, is actually part owned by I think Apple CEO.
Like
so it's
Tim
like
Cook?
No, it's not him. Okay, Apple, some head at Apple, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so they just finished 12 holes. Obviously, they're building 18 holes or whatever they're building. 12 holes are ready. So the course designer, Gil, and like there was like 6 other people that are part of the board, and a couple of like the pro or whatever. They thought, yeah, let's go out and play the 12 holes, see how they play, see what it is. Obviously, Gil designed every single hole, so they go and play, and then there was a par 3, and they thought. The first guy, so it was literally like a 7-ball. So the first guy goes up. I think he was like the Apple guy, CEO or whoever he is, CFO, whoever he is at Apple. He turns up and he goes. I'll tell you what. Nearest to the pin, $20. We all have to pay. Everybody else has to pay $20. If you get a hole in one, everybody has to pay $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's like, yeah, cool. No, like it's peanuts to them, right? Like cool. So he goes first. He hits it. He's within like 10 yards of the pin. So he's like, so he turns around to everybody and goes, you know what? Forget 1,000. Whoever gets a hole in one, because obviously he saw like the difficulty of the green and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Whoever gets a hole in one will $10,000. So the winner, so whoever got a hole in one would have got $60,000.
Yeah,
Cool. First guy goes, obviously the first guy goes up, says $10,000. Cool, no problem. Second guy goes up on the green. Third guy goes up, on the green or thereabouts. So Gil, the designer, he goes last, hits a perfect shot, lands, and rolls straight into the hole. So he got his first ever like career or hole in one on his own golf course that he designed and he kind of put together. And he ended up winning $60,000 from a bunch of rich people that kind of put this bet on, right?
Mate.
And then at the end he was like, yeah, obviously this guy works for them.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, you know what, guys, don't worry about it, forget it. I don't want the money. So he goes. So they went back into the clubhouse. They had some food or whatever, and then he goes, you know what? Why don't you give me the money and I'll donate it to charity?
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah. Everybody was like, yeah, cool, great idea. So he ended up getting the money, the $60,000, and he put it into charity. And I thought that was such a cool Like little story.
That's an amazing story.
He's not like he's not good at golf. He's not amazing at golf. He's just an average golfer. But obviously his job is he's an architect, a golf architect.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's just, imagine playing 7 people, and everyone's like, yeah. Then they got the money, like, yeah, £10,000, $10,000 if you get a hole.
And it was
in
a
one.
difficult hole as well. A difficult par.
It wasn't easy. It was like 160, 170 yard hole or whatever it was.
That's just crazy, man.
I was like, that's crazy, man.
That's a feel good story, actually.
It
seriously.
really is. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get a hole in one.
Dude,
but that's not
stop thinking about it. It never happens if you keep on wanting to get one.
I'm not expecting in my lifetime to get a hole in one, mate.
My uncle has been playing for like 20 years, never had a single one. And one of his friends played the second time, got a hole in one.
There you go, yeah.
Seriously, literally, like you can't make it up. You could be the best. You could be a scratch golfer, right? And you played like 50 years and you never get a hole in one. And you'll have these amateurs, shanks it, bounces on a stone, rolls into the hill on the green, rolls back straight into the hole, right, for a hole in one.
Hole in one is complete luck. There's zero skill involved.
At our level, it's 100% luck.
Mate,
like
even the pros, they're not obviously they're aiming at a certain part of the green, but they're not like, they just want to get it like dustbin lid close to the pin. They're not bothered about, they're not playing the shot thinking, oh my god, I need to get hole in one in this shot to in this hole to win the tournament or whatever.
But to be fair though, that's what happened. It's not a hole in one, but did you see the DP World Tour, right? Victor Perez, when his bunker shot, he's spun his bunker shot right into the hole, right, to basically gain the lead and then to basically win the tournament. That's crazy. And it's not the only time it's ever happened in like professional golf. So again, you take that back because these pros actually can aim at the hole and get it in. Yeah,
wait, but that was a bunker shot.
It was a bunker shot. It was not a hole in one, no.
No, bunker shots, yes, like they can fully, because you might be close to the green, like a green side.
He wasn't that close. He wased that close.
Was it? Oh, okay.
And then it spun all the way back. I mean, he had a good line. That's what he said, but still very cool. Plus, actually, Xander Schauffele, did you see him make an albatross?
That was incredible. Wait,
that was amazing. What?
Did he win money? I saw it like $200,000.
So yeah, because obviously he gained straight away 3 strokes. I think an albatross is 3 strokes, right?
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. So obviously, straight away -3 on one hole, which jumped him from like 15th place to 3rd place, which is like a £300,000 difference. So that was a £300 albatross. And
that is
an albatross is obviously rarer than a hole in one because the average par 3 is like on a professional tour, 170 yards, 180 yards. Whereas, an albatross on average, the closest you're going to get on a par 5 is maybe 200 yards, right? So, and he made that albatross, I think, so he scored an albatross from 225 yards away, 230 yards away, which would be probably like a 4-iron for him. So
that's
absolutely
crazy.
Absolutely incredible.
So I thought there was like a prize for if you get
there's never a prize for albatross.
If you get an albatross, you get this much money.
But
that makes so much more sense. The fact that he jumped up on the ranks
on a Sunday as well. On one of the last holes, you make a -3, right? I mean, that's like worth a lot of money. So
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow. Well, on that note.
Well,
that's it. That's the end of the podcast. Guys, listen. Go, please, just scroll down a little bit further down. Subscribe. Like this video. But I'd rather you subscribe than like the video. If you're already watching, you're not subscribed, just subscribe, guys. We're on like 22 subscribers on YouTube. Go on the YouTube. If you're listening on like Apple Music or Spotify, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
we really
guys.
appreciate it. Just go like our
socials. If you can, just go on TikTok. Get us to 1,000, right?
Yeah, I need that link. So we can promote it a little bit. We can promote the podcast a little bit better.
Theo needs it. Theo absolutely needs it.
I need it just to make my life easier. Because whenever I post like the pictures on Instagram, it doesn't look very professional when I'm like, just go to all your podcast providers and search Rice and Slice. It's too difficult. If I just say link in bio, click it. There's the link.
Easier.
Go on the Spotify. Go on Apple Music. Go on YouTube.
Please make Theo's life easier because he's not getting that from me.
No. Yeah, I need a thousand, and then after that, we'll just chill.
You need a more competent golf, podcast.
It's all right.
Like,
listen,
partner.
Like if we
who doesn't forget his like laptop at his
It's right.
office.
Listen. we had a problem. We fixed it. That's the way it goes.
No, to be fair, not only have we fixed it, but we found a potential thing to do in the future as well, right?
Yeah. As long as it works, mate, I'm happy. I don't care what we do.
Brilliant.
It's just all this money that I'm spending on gear that we don't even need. In the end, like, all you need is a website and a microphone and a
exactly, but also to be fair, it's just like a golf game. All the gear, no idea. On that note, thank you guys. Like, follow, subscribe. See you next time.